This broadcast is presented by the authority of the Pacific Coast Sports Racing Association and the National Association of Professional Racing Leagues Incorporated for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction, rebroadcast, retransmission, or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Pacific Coast Sports Racing Association and the National Association of Professional Racing Leagues Incorporated is prohibited. On the PCSRA Sports and Gaming channel from Learfield IMG College. Welcome to Triple P on the Blue Hedgehog TV. Now here's the voice of the PCSRA, Mr. Daniel Voiles.
A wacky race weekend from Montreal, IndyCar, and also this past weekend at Sonoma, and it brought up some interesting winners in the process. Welcome to the St. Lawrence River and the crazy racing that we saw edition of Triple P. Daniel Voiles here in our PCS Race Studios. It was a wild road course weekend here today, and of course, our only expert panel is ready to talk about that. He is Sean Art, driver of the TCU Hornfrog Chevrolet for Carnage Racing.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, we apologize for not having Sean on the show the last couple of weeks because, well, my timing was not perfect, if you ask me. So,
yeah. Also, my schedule wasn't the best.
Yeah. So let's just roll with the punches. So, oh, and Cody Smart just updated the global standings. Thank you, Cody. Which we'll talk about that later on in the show. So, let's see here. I need to get Xfinity. So let me get Xfinity. We'll get ready to talk about Sonoma and all that. If I can pull up the stupid thing, thank you very much. And yeah, there we go. So today we're going to recap, as I said, the road courses of Sonoma. IndyCar was racing this weekend from, where were they? They're at Road America, thank you. And then F1 from Montreal, which I'm not even going to do this song because I don't want to get copyrighted. So, yeah.
Yeah, don't need to get in trouble.
Yeah, I've already been in enough trouble with YouTube, so I was like, let's just get on with the program. Let's go ahead and start off with the F1 race from Montreal at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for the Canadian Grand Prix. The race was really interesting, to say the least, in that remark. Oh, and I also forgot to tell everybody, before you start commenting in the YouTube chat, please take note of the description once I update the description. That way you guys know what the rules are and you make my life a little easy. Anyway, let's talk about the F1 race. It started in it was a wet race, which meant nobody had to use two sets of dry tires during the course of the Grand Prix. So that's pretty good, to say the least. We went a long way until Logan Sargent got turned around, backed his Williams into the wall in turn number 4. That brought out a safety car. Charles Leclerc had mechanical problems, did not finish the race, which they end up retiring the car. Everybody really was struggling for grip in that race. Oh, and I should tell everybody else we are live. I'll tell Taylor to come on. Thank you, Cody. So the race was really wacky, and then our final safety car, Checo Perez, lost control in turn number 7, backed his Red Bull into the tire wall. The team admitted that he drove away, trying to not cause a safety car. At the same time, Carlos Sainz spun out and unfortunately collected Alex Albon in the process. Then Yuki Tsunoda nearly got hit by one of the Haas cars. It was Nico Hulkenberg. And Max Verstappen won the race, but like I said, it was not even easy, if you ask me. It was a very tricky race condition. So congratulations to Max Verstappen, which, by the way, let me check here. Max Verstappen, you led the most laps. You won the race. So F1 for the weekend. you can go. So, yeah. So the top 10 results for the F1 race: Max Verstappen, the winner; Lando Norris, second; George Russell, third; Lewis Hamilton, fourth; Oscar Piastri, fifth; Fernando Alonso, sixth; Lance Stroll, seventh; Daniel Ricciardo, eighth. And rounding out the top 10 was Gasly and Ocon from Alpine in the process. Max Verstappen did extend his lead a bit in the Drivers' Championship. McLaren gained a lot of points on Ferrari in the Constructors as we head to our next race in 2 weeks from Circuit de Catalunya for the Spanish GP. So, Mr. Sean, what was your thoughts on Montreal?
Hold on.
What?
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I think the Montreal Grand Prix, was what we weren't expecting to happen. I think nobody was expecting to have so much chaos happen with two safety cars?
Yeah, 2 safety cars. I think it was a VSC. It was really a wacky race, and like I said, it started in wet conditions, and the track was dry, and everybody was trying to go on slicks, and it was like when you go off the track, you're on ice trying to hang on for dear life.
Yeah, that's the part that is that makes it interesting.
Yeah.
But I guess it did provide some exciting action, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's like the rain came, the rain went. It almost reminded me of what happened in the German Grand Prix in 2019 when we had the same thing, except they ran the full distance and not shortened the race by 3 laps because of it. So, but I thought it was an exciting race. What would you rate that race, actually?
I'm gonna say, if we're doing out of 10,
Yes.
I give it about an 8.5.
I will agree, 8.5. I thought this was one of the most exciting races because this almost had vibes of 2011, where we started behind the, or we're in changeable conditions, and like I said, as the track was drying, grip was going to be a all-time pressure. So it was really a lot of fun seeing that race. So yeah. Then we go to the IndyCar race at Road America, which I did watch that race this morning out of my bedroom. The start of the race was really interesting. The front row all spun out. Like we had 3 or 4 cars spun out coming out of turn 1, which brought out a caution. Then Kiffin Simpson brought out the second full course caution after he got jacked up from behind just after the restart. And then Marcus Armstrong went out of the race due to mechanical problems, and that was the end of that. And Will Power ended up giving a Penske 1-2-3 by winning the Grand Prix of Road America, the XPEL Grand Prix of Road America. So the top 10 results for the IndyCar race: Will Power, the winner; Joseph Newgarden, second; Scott McLaughlin, third; Alex Palou, fourth; Kyle Kirkwood, fifth; Colton Herta, sixth; Roman Grosjean, seventh; Pato O'Ward, eighth; Marcus Armstrong, ninth; and 10th was Graham Rahal. I would like to note that Nolan Siegel replaced Augusto Campesino because of the controversy with the social media deal prior to the weekend. So Nolan Siegel, the 19-year-old who failed to make the Indy 500, got to finally make his IndyCar debut, but not the finish he was hoping for. So, what you thought about Road America, Sean?
Well, normally I would say it is maybe one of the most boring tracks on any racing schedule. I guess that's only true for NASCAR standards, not for IndyCar though, because man, that was troubling. That was straight up troubling for some of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the early, 15 laps, where we had multiple cautions because drivers were just going all over the place.
It was kind of crazy to see that happen, especially. And remember, this track was recently resurfaced not that long ago. So you're thinking, okay, maybe these drivers will settle down. Boy, it got really crazy in a hurry, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it started right in the turn one. But how the race came down to a fuel strategy, well, kind of a pit strategy sort of thing, with the three Penske drivers.
Yep.
Kind of made it a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, and
how it could have gone to any one of those Penske IndyCar drivers just made it good. It made it really good.
Let's also forget Joseph Newgarden finished second in a backup car after his hard crash that was like 90 G's going through the kink, and that's one of the fastest part of the racetrack where he hit that wall. Glad he was okay and got cleared to race for that. So what would you rate Road America?
I'm going to rate it 7.5.
I'm going to say a solid 7. It was a good race. It was one of those races that we didn't expect chaos to erupt, and it was a lot of fun. So I really enjoyed that race, so I give it a solid 7. Now let's talk about Wine Country. As we start off with the Xfinity Series race at Sonoma, which wasn't a good one until we got to stage 3, and you'll see what I mean by that. Stage 1 was won by SVG. Second place went to AJ Allmendinger. Third, Austin Hill. Fourth, Parker Kligerman. John Hunter Nemechek. Fifth, Chandler Smith. Sixth. Seventh went to Sammy Smith. Anthony Alfredo got 8th. 9th, Parker Retzlaff. And 10th went to Riley Herbst. Ty Gibbs won stage 2. SVG second. Third, Jesse Love. Fourth, Sheldon Creed. Fifth, Cole Custer. Sixth, Chandler Smith. Seventh, John Hunter Nemechek. Eighth was Parker Kligerman. Ninth went to Justin Allgaier. And 10th, Parker Retzlaff. It was going to be that way, but on lap 51, Sean, we had the big one. Which I believe Jeb Burton started that wreck, and by the time it was done, half the field was all torn up. Collected Brandon Jones, Ty Gibbs, who just joined. Oh, it's Taylor. I'll get your thoughts, Taylor, in just a second on the global stuff. The 26 of Ed Jones, the 27 Jeb Burton, as I mentioned. Josh Williams, the 91 of Kyle Weatherman. We'll talk about him in the top story news, by the way. Ryan Seed. I already mentioned Ty Gibbs. Somebody derped on the deal. Let's see. Parker Retzlaff, Dan Partis, Riley Herbst, and the 92 of Josh Bilicki. It was a massive wreck, if you ask me, up at 3 and 3A. So, yeah. And then Jesse Love got into a crash in turn 10 that brought out a full course caution. But at the end of the day, SVG dominated to his second road course win in a row in the Xfinity Series. So the top 10 results for the Zip Buy Now Pay Later 250, which I think is a dumb name in my opinion. Shane Van Gisbergen wins. Sheldon Creed second. Sam Mayer third. Austin Green fourth. Nice run for Austin Green. His dad, David Green, a former Xfinity Series driver, now a NASCAR driver. So nice run to him. Austin Hill fifth. Justin Allgaier sixth. Chandler Smith seventh. John Hunter Nemechek eighth. Cole Custer ninth. And Parker Kligerman completed the top 10. Only 5 of the 38 starters in the Xfinity Series failed to finish that race. Then we go to the Cup Series for the Toyota Save Mark 350. And it was also a crazy race. Didn't take us long for the first yellow. Took us to lap 3 when Denny Hamlin's engine went kaboom. Rarely do you see Denny Hamlin have mechanical failures. Would you guys agree?
That was a surprise.
Don't know if he grabbed the wrong gear or what, but it just exploded and dropped a lot of oil on track and all that race. And this is the part, Eric Estep mentioned this on Out of the Groove last night. It was a bad day for Joe Gibbs Racing because just after the restart, more problems for Joe Gibbs Racing. This time, Ty Gibbs clipped the wall in turn number 11. Looks like he turned too early and nicked the wall there. When he went to turn 1, boom, went into the wall. And Ty Gibbs' day was done just like that. Just after the restart from that, more trouble. This time through the S's. Chase Briscoe gets spun around. Involves Ricky Stenhouse. And then Harrison Burton, Austin Cindric, and Joey Logano get collected in the incident. And I want to ask you guys this. Have you ever seen a next-gen car, even though we've seen it in the video game where they rip off the rear bumper, have you ever seen a next-gen car almost have the rear bumper come off in real life? That's not a video game wreck.
Nope.
It was a first. What about you, Taylor?
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I mean, it just ripped off. I mean, if they yanked it off, they would have had to put a spoiler and all that back on. But yeah, so tough break for those drivers in that process. Because, like I said, that was going through the S's. Stage 1 was won by Reddick, second Blaney, third Larson, Elliott fourth, Alex Pullman fifth, sixth Michael McDowell, seventh Ross Chastain, Daniel Suarez eighth, Corey LaJoie ninth, 10th is Todd Gillen. Just after the restart, mechanical problems became a thing as it got worse for RCR, and we'll tell you why. Mechanical problems for Will Brown, who, by the way, was making his Cup debut since he was a Supercar driver. He'll be back in action at Supercar's next race coming up. Had a mechanical problem, did get the problem fixed, and lost some laps doing so. Just after the restart from that, more trouble going into turn number 11. Josh Berry locked up his tires and then come yeeting into Christopher Bell. Collected Austin Dillon, William Byron, Cam Waters, another driver making his Cup debut, Martin Truex Jr., and the 43 of Eric Jones. I mean, he came in like a wrecking ball, if you ask me. Right, Taylor? I mean, he locked up the tires, and I'm thinking, stop, stop, stop. Nope, just hit a bunch of cars. Unfortunately, took a lot of cars out of the race. Then Austin Cindric gets turned around with Michael McDowell and Noah Gragson as they hit the tire wall. In the S's, rest of stage 2 was clean. It went to Chris Buescher. Second, Ryan Preece. Third was Martin Truex Jr. Fourth, Brad Keselowski. AJ Allmendinger gets fifth. Sixth was Brad Keselowski. Seventh was Eric Jones. Eighth, Todd Gillen. Ninth went to Joey Logano. And 10th went to Harrison Burton. And then in stage 3, after that was common clean. But it was Kyle Larson who gets the 26th Career Cup win and third on the season as he wins the Toyota Save Mark 350. Top 10 results for the Cup Series. Kyle Larson, the winner. Michael McDowell, second. Chris Buescher, third. Chase Elliott, fourth. Ross Chastain, fifth. AJ Allmendinger, sixth. Ryan Blaney, seventh. Tyler Reddick, eighth. Christopher Bell, ninth. Nice top 10 run for Todd Gillen as he completes the top 10. Only 7 of the 38 starters failed to finish the Cup race. So, what's you guys' thoughts on Sonoma? I'll start with Sean.
I'll say this, Sonoma, I thought Sonoma could have been a lot worse, but it was actually a decent weekend. Very decent, but not the best, but very decent.
Mr. Taylor, first off, your thoughts on Road America and Montreal, and then your thoughts on Sonoma.
Yeah, unfortunately, I really didn't see too much of the IndyCar race, so unfortunately, I'm gonna have to decline to comment on that one. But I will say though, Sonoma was very interesting. Definitely, I think the repave really spiced things up at Sonoma, and yeah, I think the drivers definitely were having a little bit of a handful with some of the repave and stuff, and some of that new pavement, and it definitely was interesting. That's for sure. A lot of craziness at Sonoma, and something that we haven't really seen too much of for a while there at Sonoma, and definitely embarrassing to see how the drivers do on the repave when we go back there next year.
And the other thing I can tell you this is that Montreal also got a repave too. So the question I have for the both of you is that this was, well, let's just say this was a repaving weekend. I mean, did you guys feel like Montreal played a big factor in the repave, knowing it was a resurfaced track, and did that play a factor into temperatures, on the slick tires where they just had no grip?
It kind of seemed like the drivers were trying to get used to that repave in Montreal too, and with that not really being used to that repave, definitely it made things really interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely. So let's get into some of the top story news. Just before we came to Sonoma, NASCAR fined Kyle Weatherman $25,000 for his little stunt, which he ran in the back of Ryan Sieg on pit road at the last race at Portland International Raceway. Kyle Weatherman did apologize to his team and is looking forward for the rest of the season. Your thoughts on the fine? I'll start with Taylor and then Sean.
I mean, I think the penalty of some sort was kind of expected there, especially when you try to run into people on pit road and ram them in the rear end. I mean, that just is definitely asking to get a penalty or something from NASCAR, and so yeah, I think we all kind of expected that.
And for you, Sean? Unless Sean had to go do something. Yeah, I think Sean had to go do something, so he'll be back in a little bit. So yeah, should mention. Let me see here. Let me see. IndyCar, by the way, is finally off from their 3 straight races, which is good so far. So let me ask you this, Taylor. You're not surprised Max Verstappen won the Canadian Grand Prix, but were you surprised George Russell got the pole and the 2 Ferraris did not make it to Q3?
Yeah, definitely that qualifying session there was very unexpected in some aspects, and definitely I don't think anybody expected some of what happened in qualifying to happen. That's for sure.
I just didn't expect the 2 Ferraris to have problems, if you know what I mean. So
And they They definitely didn't have a good qualifying session.
Probably was not their best, if you ask me, so far. Let's see here. We've talked about, also should mention, Esteban Ocon was announced before we arrived to Montreal. He is leaving Alpine at the end of the season. He has not announced what his plans will be for next season. He's just focused on the driving for this year. So here's the question I'm going to ask you, Taylor. We've seen it. We knew this was coming by Alpine after what happened 2 weeks ago in Monaco. Your reaction to Ocon leaving, and who do you think will get that ride next season?
I think it was expected that Ocon was going to be looking for a ride, and
Welcome back, Sean.
But I mean, it'll be interesting to see what does happen with Ocon in the off season, or maybe if somebody signs him before the off season. But I mean, you never know where he's gonna wind up. I mean, especially with him having some teammate issues and stuff on the teams he's been on, definitely could be a red flag for some of them teams. And so, who knows where he's going to go?
Yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know if I feel like he's going to go to Mercedes next year. I mean, he only has one career win, but this year's been a complete disaster, with the collisions he's had with Gasly in Japan 2 weeks ago in Monaco. You can sense the frustrations, and Alpine is really haven't done any good in the constructors, because if you look at the constructor standings when we go into Spain in a couple of weeks, time, as I'm going to actually go find the constructor standings. Let me find the constructors. You look at them, they're only 8th in the constructors, 3 points ahead of Williams. So do you think the frustration is setting in, to them, knowing that, Ocon would like to have a better team to be with next year?
I mean, every once in a while you've seen them have some good runs here and there this year, but they just haven't really been consistent enough in getting top tens and things like that. And definitely, I mean, it can be frustrating for a team, especially when you're not performing good and on a consistent basis and running up front and stuff a lot and having good finishes. So definitely, I mean, that definitely can, lead to potential tempers boiling over and things like that.
Yeah. Also, I should ask, why did you hurt yourself, Sean?
Wait, what?
I said, why did you hurt yourself?
Why not?
We were talking about Ocon leaving Alpine. Your thoughts on that?
Should I also get my rating for Sonoma?
Yeah, I'll get your rating for Sonoma. Go ahead and start with your rating and then your thoughts on Ocon leaving Alpine.
Okay, rating for Sonoma, I'll give it a 7.
I think we'll all agree. I'm going to say 7. What about you, Taylor?
I'll say 7.5.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Sean, with your thoughts on Ocon leaving Alpine at the end of the year.
Okay, Ocon leaving Alpine. Well, I'm kind of surprised. I'm gonna say that for real. Wasn't expecting that, but I think now this could allow Ocon to venture out into a different team atmosphere because Alpine is just not that team. They're not there.
Mm-hmm.
So let's hope. I hope he can find a different team to drive for. I really do.
Yeah. You can tell on the radio he was kind of frustrated after, he and Gasly had to swap places. So I think you kind of knew the frustration was coming between those two. So, and which is probably the reason for the decision to leave Alpine at the end of the year. So, but there's been some rumors that it could be Jack Doohan, but I'm not going to speculate if that's going to be true or not. We're just going to have to wait and see about that. Chase Briscoe, sponsor Mahindra Tractors, is going to also help Chase Briscoe find him a Cup ride next year, which I'm happy to see Mahindra wanting to stay with Chase Briscoe for next season and future seasons. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, the Stewart team shutting down after this year. Yeah, you kind of wondered whether some of the sponsorship that the drivers had would follow them to wherever they went next. And definitely, I think that'll be good for Briscoe with Mahindra going with him and wherever he potentially winds up. So that'll be good for Briscoe, I think, to be able to have that sponsorship and for some races next year to help and potentially get a ride.
Yeah, a lot of, not just, Mahindra Tractors. I mean, think about all the other sponsors that SHR has right now. Are they going to go with, Chase Briscoe or Ryan Preece or Josh Berry or Noah Gragson to new teams for next year? That's the big question, we're all thinking of is that going to happen? So
Yeah, could happen.
It could. It could really happen.
I mean, you think about Noah Gragson is that he has a good relationship with Bass Pro Shops. So this could also, and also I need to throw this out, it also could have been a factor of whether or not, if Martin Truex Jr. retires, do you see Gragson possibly going to JGR next year?
Well,
There's a good discussion point right there
Mm-hmm.
because the door is wide open.
Yep. A lot of decisions will have to be made, in the next couple of weeks as far as that's concerned, which we'll talk more about that. I'll talk more about that with my friends, Rowdy, Demon, Jeremy, Tyler, and Beans for a much more discussion on the Sonoma weekend, as well as all the stuff we talked about. So that should be interesting.
On the B-rated show.
Yeah, it's on Let's Talk Rowdy, which is hopefully tonight. So
that's the B show.
Yes. Thankfully, Jim Bob's not going to be on that show tonight. I will. Go ahead.
You talking about dead Jim Bob?
Yeah. So, I do want to say, to go back to I talked about Nolan Siegel in that 78, where Augusta Campo got some heated discussions. And I heard Errol McLaren is no longer supporting Juno Racing. So your reaction to the breakup for that partnership for Juno Racing and Arrow McLaren?
I guess I'll go first. I think what's going on here is that someone decided to mess up big time
And
over
be
there.
stupid.
Yeah, and this is probably why the whole situation that happened this past weekend in
Mm-hmm.
Road America transpired, because I think Capino was going to race. It's just then he had to deal with this sort of stuff, and he just didn't have enough courage to just step in a car like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which, more power to him. I don't disagree with his actions on sitting out.
Yeah.
It just kind of sucks that a partnership could get ruined real easily by two teams because of certain actions. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, really.
Yeah, and the thing, and the also thing, there was a risk versus reward. The reward, we're happy for Nolan Siegel getting an IndyCar ride, and I'm happy he got to race the IndyCar race. But it came with a price that he couldn't run his Indy NXT ride because of this. So, to the question I have for Taylor is that, will this cost Nolan Siegel the championship, knowing that, yes, he had to fill in for Canapino for this weekend in the IndyCar series, but at the same time wasn't allowed to race the Indy NXT. Do you think that's kind of a big blow to his championship bid for Indy NXT?
Definitely that good. Definitely hurt his championship hopes, especially with him not being able to race and missing it. So definitely that may hurt him in the long run, and that definitely could cost him a championship.
Oh, definitely, if you ask me, as far as that is concerned. By the way, we have the broadcasting schedules for NBC this year. We're going to have Rick Allen, Steve Burton, or Steve Letarte, excuse me, Jeff Burton, and Brad Daugherty. I'm happy Brad Daugherty's still there. Marty Steiner, Dave Burns, Kim Kuhn on pit road. Specialty reporter will be Dale Jarrett. Studio analyst will be Dale Jarrett, Brad Daugherty, Marty Snyder. It'll be on USA Network, and that's, by the way, starting for this weekend for the Cup and Xfinity races, which we'll get to that in a bit. Only penalties from Sonomas were the lug nut penalties, so nothing too major as far as that is concerned. Let's see here. We are, by the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 races left until NASCAR goes on the Olympic break, which is good to point out. Do need to ask Taylor this question. Do you think the 3-place grid penalty, €25,000 fine, and also you can join in the conversation, Sean. Do you think that grid penalty that Sergio Perez got for driving his car away when the team told him to retire the car, do you think that was a fair penalty, or do you think, he should have just drove the car back? I mean, do you think that's a fair penalty?
Definitely didn't sound like he was following team orders there too much. So So, I mean, definitely I could see being a fair penalty over there.
What about you, Sean?
I gotta say that was a fair penalty because you blatantly disregard team orders, and I think I don't know if that's a rule in regards to the FIA rule book, but basically you're sort of driving with a damaged car, which you know is probably not gonna do you any good. So they mostly tell you to stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's no excuse. No excuse. Blatantly disregard to his team. And FIA wasn't going to have that be cut out anyway either because it's like you're driving a damaged car. What do you think's going to happen?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So definitely I think the right penalty for me, but, he should have just got out of the car. That way there would have been no penalties and all that, yada, yada, yada. So, yeah. I think that is it for the top story news. And now it's time for our favorite segment right here on Triple P. The Double X and Double A report is brought to you by DoubleBid, proud sponsor of the PCS Array. And now, here's Sean Art.
All right, yes, we are going to do one of these double A and double S reports, but there is something I need to tell you people about. Unfortunately, we had to have a sudden end to the season on both double A and double S due to unnecessary reasons, which I will not go about on this show. I really didn't pay much attention to the double A race, but I will just give you guys the top 10 results, which you'll have to give me a second. Okay. Should it also say this? Anybody had a fair chance to win the title, so the winner and champion was the 27 Ben. Second was the 19 of DeMarcus. Third was the 78 of Josh Harmon. Fourth was the 99 of Mackenzie. Fifth was the 44 of Kelly Hudson. Sixth was the 98 of Olivia. Seven was the 87 of Christopher Bright. Eighth was the 47 of F7. Ninth was the 48 of Mia. And rounding out the top 10 was the 12 of Ryan. Now I could go more in depth with the double S race, and I did. Danny could probably agree on that if he didn't watch it.
Yep.
Which I will get that. Here we go. So after this race didn't start off that quickly with the cautions. End of the first lap, we have a big red that takes out about half of the field. Mostly about, I would say about, I don't know, a third of the field. Yeah. Take it out.
Yep.
Mostly it was 3 wide. Nobody knows who was where. And calamity happened. And it didn't take long after that. Lap 4. Just back on the green. Coming to the end of that lap, actually. Turn 3 strikes again. More cars involved. Mostly it was a chaotic race. And then after that, another caution happened. Mostly turn 3 was just a trouble spot. So, I'll just go give you to the last lap because it was down to 7 cars all battling for the win. between Moff, Jesse Yard, Jaden, Zoe, Annabella, Josh, and I'm forgetting the last. Oh yeah, and I forgot. But yeah, it was down to 7 drivers, and it was a shocker on the winner, as it was the 23 of Jesse, not just getting the win, but is the champion. She wins at Pocono, or as I like to call it, Poke. Oh no! As I love to call it that. You're not wrong with it. Sorry, don't blame me. Anyway, here's your top 10 results. The winner and champion again was the 23 of Jesse. Second was the 88 of Annabella. Third was the 19 of Jaden. Fourth was the 32 of Jeanette. Fifth was the 7 of Zoe. Sixth was the 39 of Josh. Seventh was the 63 of Moff. Eighth was the 34 of Anna. Ninth was the 94 of Brad. And running out the top 10 was the 90 of Matthew. Now, this would end double Eds for this shortened season, but it will be back very soon with a 6th season.
Woohoo!
Date and time on that to be determined. Either way, that's it.
Now time for the Red Bull GT Series update, as we had our first race of the season at Coca-Cola, which, by the way, Zachary Taylor, Sean Art participated in that race. Didn't get too far into the race. A big wreck took out a lot of drivers. Josh Harmon, Kyle Langland, Jackson Harrison, Tatsumi Takashi. Logan and Andrew Williams took each other out coming to the caution and collected, unfortunately, Addison Peterson, Nathan Murphy, Sebastian Palmer, Emma Kaiser, Will Parrish, Samad Oskin. So that means Sean wrecked 11 cars in the process.
And a bunch of those teams are now mad at me.
I don't think so. But at the end of the day, Prudence Martindale came home the victory. Here's your top 10 results in that race. Prudence Martindale, her first win of season 3. Jesse and Sean, top 10 runs. Jesse Art did get the sibling bragging rights over Sean.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that.
A lot of other drivers, as you look at the rest of the results down there at the bottom. Championship standings are the same as the finishing results. Dero Red Bull GT Series next race will be at Kansas. So there you go. Or no, they're at Atlanta. I'm sorry.
Oh, man, you just ruined my fun with that.
Okay, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Since you said it was going to be Kansas, I was like, it's a twister! It's a twister!
Yeah, we will be going to Kansas later this year. So
yeah, but not next week, so I can't do it.
we will go to we'll be in the Peach State of Atlanta, so but should be a lot of fun nevertheless, as far as that's concerned. Also, Mr. Taylor, we're going to talk more about Montreal because we'll have our IMSA podcast for a much more discussion on the Canadian Grand Prix, which include the IMSA Porsche cars, which one of them had a massive shunt into the pit wall, and it was a nasty wreck. So, Taylor, you and I will discuss that tomorrow on the IMSA podcast for a much more discussion on Montreal and other races we've missed so far. Hope you're looking forward to that. Should be a lot of fun. And also, This reminder, Thursday, the World Endurance Podcast, I had to be the solo host as we preview the 24 Hours of Le Mans. I'm going to talk about how exciting the racing is going to be, who do I think is going to be the favorites, and my keys to the race on surviving a 24-hour. Check that out Thursday night on the Blue Hedgehog TV. Hope you'll be with us for that. You know what it's time for? It's preview time!
Oh, great.
My favorite. Preview time, my favorite.
Oh, brother.
But before we get to preview time for this weekend's races, we have some sad news in the world of the baseball family. A melancholy trails to Steve Kaluki, who passed away today at the age of 70. I know I told Taylor it was the cursive number, but for respect, I'm going to say at the age of 70. Kaluki spent 3 decades as the voice of the Salt Lake Bees. Last year, he announced his retirement from broadcasting after 29 years. And, he will definitely be missed. And our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and friends and everybody in the Bees organization, which is a very sad day in minor league baseball, if you ask me. Also, happy trails to NASCAR Race Hub. Today is their last day as they will be on FS1. They will no longer be on FS1 after the Fox announcement. They are shutting it down, which they should have done that at the end of the year, but knowing Fox and FS1, it was so controversial. So, yeah. Which also also brings up questions. What's going to happen to Race Hub? I think we know. I think the NASCAR YouTube channel said they're going to continue doing Radioactive. Because let's be honest, guys, we love Radioactive when the drivers get when we go behind the scenes. Yeah. We are still waiting word from NASCAR what's going to happen to Martin Truex Jr. for saying a offensive word, which is the offensive R word, not the R word that makes Sean get triggered, but the offensive R word that my roommate Mario likes to say. And NASCAR is still reviewing that, and if they do find out he did say that word, there will be sensitive training punishment coming MTJ's way, if you ask me. So.
Well, it's his fault for making that mistake.
Yeah, and saying it on the radio, because I heard the full radio. So, yeah.
So if he gets caught, that's his fault.
Yep, I wouldn't be surprised. What about you, Taylor? You're probably not happy with him, right, for doing that?
I don't have a comment about that.
Well, I'm gonna throw Taylor down the mountain into the cat dive.
Yep, there he goes. Let's see what we got for this week's predictions.
Oh,
I was going to. No, that is not motorsports.com. I went to freaking Stun Nut for no damn reason. While we're doing that, Taylor, real quickly, and this is going to be a little teaser, your thoughts going into the big race, the 24 Hours of Le Mans, which is this weekend, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. That'll definitely be a really interesting event.
Should be fun. Hey, Taylor, real quickly, before we do the Iowa preview, let's preview Darwin together. So, supercars are back this weekend. What do you think we'll see at Darwin?
It should be of interest. The supercar drivers, they've had a little time off, and I wish it'll be good for them to get that time off. And so be interesting to see what happens in their return from their time off.
And also, Will Brown and Cam Waters ready to get back into the championship fight. So, looking forward to that. They're already getting driver announcements ready for the endurance. And also, I've heard rumors that a NASCAR driver could be racing in the Land Down Under in Adelaide. So that will make things even interesting. It's not an answer, and we know it could be Kyle Busch.
What?
Yep, you heard me. I didn't stutter. All right, Mr. Taylor, let's get your predictions. Since you're going first and I'm going second. Who is your stay away from for supercars?
Oh, man.
Drink your water, Taylor. I don't want you dying on the show. If you die on the show, then Sean and I are going to come to Wallace, Indiana and get you a lot of water.
Okay, I know what I should do.
What?
No, why? We should predict who crashes in Toe-Ring.
Oh, here we go again with the... Okay, for real, who's your stay away from?
Let's see, is this... Oh, that is not what I wanted, you dog.
Oh no, here comes Taylor derping on Triple P again.
I'm glad I'm back here.
Google over here for using the dead Steeler strategy.
I thought it was the dead cowgirl Steeler strategy, Taylor.
I thought it was a dead cunt strategy.
I am not even going to call him that. Thank you very much.
All right, Taylor, go into the cat night.
Let's see. I guess I'm actually going to have to go on driver points here because this thing's being a high.
Just like Cody not being so smart on his predictions, I bet you.
Taylor had a problem altogether, so.
Just like when Cody said Toe-Ring and Pure.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
I can't wait to see what the hell happens next week.
Okay, but, alright, so for my stay away from here, I will say Matthew Payne will be my stay away from.
Yeah, he got 2 top 10, so you're in good shape, Taylor.
Yeah, because right now I'm just looking at the driver points.
Wait, are you looking at Wikipedia?
I'm on the Supercar website.
I'm on the Belts, Zachary Taylor 2024. Who's your dark horse? We ain't shutting no front doors on the dark horse.
I will say, I'm going to say Jack LeBrock will be my dark horse.
And your winner?
I will say Brock Feeney will be my winner.
I hope he doesn't gets penalized.
Oh, that was terrible.
I was trying to do that just to trigger Taylor. If Feeney gets penalized, then it's not Feeney-like.
Oh,
All right.
brother, this guy's
All right, here's my predictions. And guess what? I have to borrow Taylor's notebook.
Ow.
Stay away from Cameron Waters is who I'm going with.
I didn't know Taylor had a notebook.
I always make sure to give him the notebook whenever we have like other series we do besides IndyCar and F1, so that's why I have to steal his notebook.
Okay.
I'm going Will Brown as my dark horse.
Wait, are you using Taylor's message?
Yes, because I don't have any other methods to steal, because I can't steal yours, or I'm going to have to be charged $1,000 for every time I steal your method, Sean.
Well, doesn't Taylor charge people for using his
ADP
method?
is my winner. Whenever we do supercars, we don't do that. So that is our predictions for supercars, since that's easy. Oh, guess what? It's an easy week for us, Taylor, because that's our only global event this weekend, I like to point out. So, boys, it's time for Iowa.
Oh boy, time to get some corn.
Yeah, time to shed some corn. This weekend, it's only Xfinity and Cup racing this weekend. So we have the Xfinity race that will be happening this Saturday. Oh, by the way, reactions are coming back because I'm not working this coming weekend, so woohoo. You can catch the Hy-Vee Perks 250 Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time on USA Network. You can listen to the race also on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR, and the Sirius XM NASCAR radio. And then Sunday night will be the Cup race. You can catch the Iowa Corn 350 powered by ethanol at Iowa Speedway at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Father's Day. By the way, happy Father's Day to all the dads, including my dad who's currently in heaven. That'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern on USA Network. You can listen to the race on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR, and all that, yada, yada, yada. So, gentlemen, what do you think we're going to see this weekend at Iowa?
Definitely, I think we're going to be in for the unexpected, because this is going to be the first time we've seen the Cup cars at Iowa, and we really don't know what to expect going into this. And so I think we're probably going to be heading into a little bit of the unknown and unpredictable.
What about you, Mr. Sean?
Well, I'm just thinking this in two standards, and here's the thing: it's a double-edged sword right now for me in regards to this. Because, yes, Cup Series is going to Iowa. We know what Xfinity can do at Iowa, but for the Cup Series, the only problem I have is the forefront is the short track packages. Because, and I'm going to use the soundboard for this. So, Danny, if you got, hopefully you don't have my soundboard muted.
I don't think I do have it muted.
The only thing I'm hoping for is we don't have this. We're hoping that we don't have a boring race, because if it does happen, Sunday night might be a boring stream.
And then I get to play this.
We'll cut that out.
Sure.
You're a science.
I-
Anyway, I hope the racing is good, because we don't need boring.
We need carnage.
We just need something. We need something that isn't just a boring short track package.
Hey, here's the good news I can tell you guys. This weekend is 3 days for Cup. You know why? Because we get 50 minutes of practice on Friday, Saturday qualifying, Sunday the race.
Okay.
So, and also I should point out we also had the ARCA race on Friday night, even though we don't care about ARCA, but I just want to get their support. The good news is nobody goes home this weekend for Xfinity and Cup because there are 38 cars on the entry list. All 38 will make the show for Xfinity, and there are only 37 Cup cars. The only open car is the 66 that is driven this week by David Starr, who's doing double duty. So the good thing about these drivers is that for those that have never raced Iowa, good thing they get 50 minutes of practice just to learn that short track race, if you know what I mean. And I bet the Cup drivers should watch that Xfinity race because they've never seen what kind of racing. And plus, it's 100 more laps longer than the Xfinity race. So there you go. All right. Are we ready for predictions? I also should mention the next IndyCar race will have David Malukas back in the IndyCar series. Of course, Malukas has not raced this season due to injuries, but thankfully he is going to be back. So that's good. So nice to see David Malukas back. That will be for the next race coming up in a couple of weeks. Where is IndyCar racing next time out? Let's see. It'll be Laguna Seca. That will be starting up next weekend, which will make predictions on that. Plus, we'll make predictions for Spain, Loudon, and that's it. So, should be fun. So let's go ahead and get into, first of all, my female drivers just sent me their predictions for Spain because, well, they just sent them in. So this is who they predict this weekend for Xfinity. So they're going to go with the normal method. So their winner, what they have told me, they're basing it off the races from the last couple of short tracks. They feel like Brett Moffitt is their winner. Yes, Brett Moffitt's driving the 19 this week for anyone who's not asking. So, and by the way, if you pick Brett Moffitt, he's not too easy for stay away from. He's making his first Xfinity start of the year. Stay away from, they felt like this driver has been on a downward spiral and they can't figure out what the deal is or why he's having a downward spiral, but man, has not been kind to him so far. And looking at the Xfinity results, it's clear today that this driver is definitely going to be not too easy for stay away from, but they feel like Sheldon Creed is the driver to stay away from. Because Creed has never done well at Iowa when he was in the Truck Series, and I think that's going to continue on. Their dark horse, SVG. They're really curious to see how SVG is going to do this weekend. Now, their winner for Cup, they had to look back at inaugural winners. We've had Kyle Busch win an inaugural race, Joey Logano win an inaugural race. They felt like this driver, who has got track knowledge, they picked Christopher Bell. Bell won the last time we were at Iowa, which was the Xfinity Series, which he had a good record so far. They picked Ross Chastain as the dark horse, because Chastain does run well at Iowa when he was in the Xfinity Series. But their stay away from gets a little tricky. They felt like this driver is going to really struggle, and based off what happened at Gateway, it's continuing to get worse. They picked Kyle Busch to stay away from. All right. Mr. Taylor, you're kicking it off for the LTRs. Then it'll be Sean and Jesse, and then me, and then we'll wrap it up. So, Taylor, let's start off with Xfinity. Stay away from.
Let's see here. Who do I want to pick for Xfinity?
As Cody likes to call it.
Cody. What's next? Xfinity series goes the toe ring.
Oh!
Anyway, stay away from. I am going to say. I'll say Jesse Love is going to be my stay away from. Let's see. Long shot. Let's see here. How about I go with yeah, you know what? How about this? I'll take Justin Allgaier as long shot.
All right. What happened, Sean?
I hurt myself.
Why?
Not.
All right. Next one.
Let's see. Dark Horse. How about I take... I'm going to take Chandler Smith.
Ooh. Sleeper.
How about I take... I'm going to take... Jimmy John Hunter Nemechek.
And your favorite.
Let's see here. Favorite. I will take Sam Mayer.
Bruh. All right. To Jesse and Sean.
Well, my sister's going to go first.
Yep.
And really, she better not be making any dumb picks here.
Yeah, after only getting what? Only getting 90 points. Yeah, if you didn't know, Taylor, she only got 90 points in the Cup series.
No, that wasn't because I did that on purpose. It's just because her picks sucked.
Oh yeah. I also forgot to tell Sean, do you have something to say to Taylor after getting shut out?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Zachary Taylor, I got something to say to you. You...
No, for our interview.
Get him!
All right, Taylor, go down. Go into the cat thing.
All right.
Anyway. So Jesse's going to go first.
Mm-hmm.
And really, she knows this week is not going to be a week that she can expect a lot. So, she now sees that Taylor picked Sam Mayer as the favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And she now knows she also has a disadvantage because she also can't see what you picked yet, Danny. So, yeah, just choose wisely. Are you sure you want to go for this one?
Oh, who did she take?
Favorite, and a bit of a shocker, picked Riley Hurts.
Ooh, interesting. We'll see if that plays out or not.
That's an interesting.
Let me
pick.
remind Taylor, Cup Series, I'm tripling the points. Is not an answer. Stay away from for Jesse.
Hold on. Let me do something.
Oh! Here we go again with jackets. All right, go on, Sean.
Yeah, you should have seen that coming. Anyway,
I kind of figured I did see it coming.
You should have seen it coming.
Well, I knew it was going to happen. Either way, stay away from for Jesse.
Hold on, let me pull up the results for the Xfinity race back at Sonoma.
Yeah.
Or who's the one that started with the Xfinity series?
I think it was Cody. By the way, the summer shootout at Charlotte's going on right now because Bubba Wallace is on track. But go on.
Okay, anyway. Dig in your place real carefully. Oh, you want me to show you who Taylor Britt is? Stay away from... Oh, no. Oh, that's just straight up rude, Jesse.
Who'd she take?
Well, first she called out how Taylor's pick was dumb.
Oh!
She doesn't like that pick, I guess.
She's trying to make sure she doesn't commit male abuse.
Yeah, but she doesn't like that pick. She decided to go with Justin Allgaier.
You know another person that I know who doesn't make good smart picks that's not Cody Smart is Demon.
Oh.
You know why? Because he's like dead last in 2 of the 3 series that I'm in when we do LTR when he picks shitty drivers.
Well, that's his fault for being stupid.
Yeah, and you know I'm not the only one who's telling make harder picks. Rowdy is always telling make harder picks. All right, what's her dark horse then, Jesse?
Uh-oh.
What?
Oh, no, the Phantom server's not going to like this.
Let me guess. She picked Austin Hill.
Yep.
I kind of figured she picked Austin Hill because when you every time you bring up the word the Phantom server, in the sense, then I know who that would be.
Oh, and she just said they suck.
Oh, the Phantom server?
Yep. Anyway, moving on.
All right, her sleeper.
Sleeper. All right, goddamn, Jesse, jeez. I know you want to see. All right. Are you sure you want to go with this one?
Oh, God, here comes the bra pick.
This is a definite bra. This might be the weirdest pick. But she's going Haley Deegan?
Well, to be fair, Haley Deegan has raced at Iowa before in the K&N series, so this is not a surprise.
But I don't know if that's a good pick or not.
Yeah, I was thinking about it could have been like a long shot, but oh well.
Anyway, speaking of long shot, who you picking? This one I don't know if this will determine to be a bra pick. It depends on how y'all feel about it. But Jesse goes with Josh Williams.
Well, I could say Josh Williams has had his moment, if you know what I mean. So,
He's had his moments, and we'll just see how it goes.
all right, Senor, you're up for Xfinity.
Yes, when I go up for Xfinity Series, I'll say this. I could think of several other drivers that I could pick from this list that isn't one of your picks. One of your favorites here. There are several others in this field that have legitimate chances to win. And you know what? I can see a couple of them already. Pinpointing them right now. There are some good drivers. But the driver I am going to pick as my favorite you know what? Give me Chandler Smith.
Should mention Daniel Dye is doing a throwback to Rusty Wallace this weekend at Iowa in the Xfinity Series.
I think Chandler Smith has the best chance to win this race.
All right, stay away from.
Stay away from. I will say. Parker Kligerman. I'm sorry. Kligerman is not well with short tracks. Short tracks is probably one of his least performing tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see him performing well after finishing 10th back at Sonoma.
I would agree with that. Your dark horse.
Dark horse? You know what? I say this guy continues to have great runs, has another good finish this weekend. Give me SVG.
Your sleeper.
Sleeper? Let me see if Benny will pick this guy. Nobody has yet. Hey, sleeper, I'm looking at Cole Custer over there.
Good pick, because Custer does run well at Iowa in the Xfinity Series. Now your long shot.
Long shot? You know what? Give me Brandon Jones. Hey, he said long shot. Brandon Jones is a long shot because I don't think his runs at Iowa are the best. I think he could probably pull out a magical run, maybe.
Is not an answer. All right, my picks. Favorite. Chandler Smith was a good pick. Riley Herbst was an interesting. Sam Mayer. I'm not picking any of those drivers. I'm going to say Jesse Love. Is not an answer.
Good pick. Good pick.
He's done really well when, you know, he's raced here before when he was in the ARCA series. So this is nothing new for him. He's been it was an incredible race. So I'm going to say he's definitely my favorite. My stay away from, I'm not going to pick any of you guys' because those are really good picks.
But you got to go your own route.
I'm going to go with my own route. And to be honest with you guys, it's really tough to tell you this. I do agree about Parker Kligerman.
Okay.
I am sadly going to have to take Leland Honeyman Jr. because I think, like Parker Kligerman, Leland Honeyman has never gone well on short tracks. I'm going to agree, Parker Kligerman's never good at short tracks.
Wait a minute. Hold on. He finished 29th, though.
Yeah, but it's not going to count if this was like on the old format, then that's a different story. So, but Leland Honeyman's never done well on short tracks.
Okay.
So, my dark horse, you guys gave me an easy pick. It's time for Heim time. Corey Heim, my dark horse.
Oh, come on.
Oh, just remember, he's driving Sam Hunt Racing. Just keep that in mind.
Come on, man.
I will pick SVG as my sleeper because you brought up a good point, Sean. He's coming off 2 good road course wins. Can he get like a top 15? I would like to see him get some stage points to help him out when we have the reformatted points come the regular season checker flag. So that's something I'm really curious about. But then I went to my long shot and I thought, who's another driver that you guys left off on the board? Sammy Smith came into mind for me, so I'm taking him.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking of going towards him. No offense to Sammy Smith, but that's just my opinion.
All right, Zachary Taylor, your Cup picks.
Let's see. I am going to pick.
By the way, the final episode of Race Hub is already on right now.
I'm watching it right now.
A sad moment, if you ask me.
Oh, fart knockers, that is not what I wanted, you stupid thing.
Okay, fart knockers are your stay away from for Cup. Thanks for telling us, Taylor.
I was trying to look at the Cup results and I decided to use the dead hairball strategy and make the page go to something else.
Oh.
All right. Stay away from. I will say. Let's see here. I will say. I'll say Todd Gilliland will be my stay away from.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Gilliland.
Man, you just had to pick the low hanging fruit sometimes.
Oh, here we go again.
Okay. To be fair, I wouldn't be surprised if Gilliland got a top 15 or something.
He's done okay. He did okay in Iowa in the Truck Series. So, your long shot.
Let's see here. Long shot. Let's see. Long shot. How about Carson Hocevar?
Okay.
Does Danny need to murder something over there?
No, I'm just waiting for your long shot.
Oh. So keep going, Taylor.
I was just looking at, what,
For a second, I thought Discord was trying to be dumb again. Anyway, long shot, I am going to do this. Give me Carson Hocevar.
I knew he was going to pick him. Your dark horse.
How about I do this? Give me Brad Keselowski as my dark horse.
Let me live, Brad.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. That was a horse face impression, okay? You're fully clothed, okay. You're sleeper, Taylor.
I am not even going to call him out on what you just did. Thank you very much.
Up.
All right, Taylor, go to the cat again.
Anyway, sleeper. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do this. Give me for sleeper. How about I take the number 20?
A bell.
Oh, you're taking the dead sooner. Whoopie-doo.
Okay.
Tackles Taylor, your favorite.
Okay. Okay, so as much as I do not want to do this, I am going to do something here that I don't think anybody saw coming.
Oh boy, what is it?
I'm picking Cat Girl Illinois. No, I'm kidding. Okay, no, my real driver to win. So you know how Danny was talking about people winning inaugural events a little bit ago?
Yes.
Well, this driver, I don't know why this is, but it seems like every time we've had an inaugural event last year, this driver wins. Get me Logano to win.
But oh no, Jim Bob is booing at Taylor.
Hey, Jim Bob, shut up.
And then he smacked Taylor and denied flags. Alright, let's see what Jesse can do.
Oh boy.
She's got her work cut out after only getting 90 points in Cup.
Yeah, she does. Oh, she just said, shut up.
I'm just saying.
She just told you again to shut up.
Go hit Taylor, not me.
Oh, brother.
Oh, sister. Alright, let's see what she can do.
Well, she knows her work's cut out for her. Now, she kind of doesn't like how you went for Logano, because I think she was probably going to think about picking Logano. So, she's going to think ahead and go to plan B. And there is always a plan B. And she's going to go back and look at all the winners on short tracks this season. And I don't even like where she's going here with this.
Who she picked for the favorite?
Her favorite is none other than Dead Hamlin.
Oh. Stay away
You
from.
gotta make that pay, Jesse. Come on. Oh. She slapped me.
Why did she do that?
She slapped me because I threw her out a point and she was like, shut up. Oh. Anyway, moving on. Driver stay away from. Oh, this is an unpopular decision on you, Jesse.
Oh no. Who'd she take?
Driver to stay away from. She picked AJ Allmendinger. Oh.
Let me make sure he's on the entry list.
Well, wait, never mind. Actually, AJ isn't on the entry list.
Actually, he is on the entry list for Cup.
Oh, never mind, Dan. You're good. Sorry, dude. Oh.
That's why I have the entry list in front of me in case you guys derp.
Well, why did you hit me, Jesse? Come on.
She's like, why not?
Yeah, she's telling me why not. Anyway, moving on. Dark Horse. Oh. I'm not surprised you actually picked this person.
Who did she take?
Dark horse, Willie B.
Not surprised.
Yeah, really not surprised.
Sleeper.
Sleeper. Oh, decides to go with the Watermelon Man, Ross Chastain.
Oh, I should mention that optional tire that they ran the All-Star race, they're using that for this weekend's tires for Iowa. That's not an answer, Taylor.
I guess finally her
Long shot, yep.
Long shot. All right, this is a prop pick.
Who did she take?
Chase Briscoe.
Okay, that's a bro moment.
Wait, you know what? It might be a bro moment, but didn't Chase Briscoe win at Phoenix?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Which is almost like a short track.
Kinda.
So that's not a bad pick, but it's not a great pick.
It's one of those stuck in the middle picks, I could say.
Yeah. Anyway, my turn.
I bet you can do better, Sean.
I know I can do better because I ain't gonna pull out that garbage. Picking dead Hamler of all people. So here's how this is gonna go. I'm gonna think wisely on my moves. And really, out of the two people that I made picks, I'm not going that route.
Neither am I.
Because let's see, we've had a Ford pick and a Toyota pick.
Oh no, is Sean gonna pick a Chevy?
You bet your butt I am!
I saw that, I'm like, Sean better pick a damn Chevrolet.
I'm picking the Chevy driver. Here's who I'm going with. None other than Kyle Larson.
If anyone's asking me who I took on Iowa for LT for the FBRL server, I took Christopher Bell.
Oh, the dead Sooner.
Oh. All right, who's your stay away from?
Stay away from. Let me go back here so I don't.
Stop.
I'm gonna pick, unfortunately, Corey LaJoy.
Makes sense.
Next up for me is the
Dark horse.
Dark Horse.
You're definitely gonna love who I'm picking.
Let me see. For Dark Horse, give me Rowdy.
Kyle Busch. And now Taylor is.
I'm gonna say this. It's not to make Taylor happy. It's just because that's my opinion.
And I can tell right now, and I'm just gonna do this. Somebody's probably clapping their butt cheeks, and it's not Taylor.
Are you sure about that? Because a bit ago we heard Taylor's background.
Okay, that would be Taylor who is clapping his butt cheeks. Anyway, sleeper
All right.
tackles Taylor.
Sleeper. Okay, on to the sleeper. I'm gonna pick. You know what? Give me Chris Buescher.
Yeah, Buescher does run well. He ran well in the Xfinity Series when we were at Iowa last, so that's a good pick.
Yeah, and so really, I'm thinking Buescher, and plus Buescher's on a run once again. He's on that run.
Long shot.
He continues to be on that run. He gets another good finish here. Finally, the long shot.
Yep.
I'm gonna just I don't know if this is a broad pick or not, but trust me on this. I'm looking at someone who used to run in Xfinity.
Mm-hmm.
So you already know I cut about a good 75% of the field out.
Mm-hmm.
My pick, give me Noah Gragson.
All right. Now for me. Oh, and I'm not picking Dead Hamlin either.
Thank goodness.
I'm picking Ty Gibbs as my favorite. I want Elijah raging at me so much I will throw a watermelon to hit him in the face.
Dude, you did not just say that. You did not just say that.
I just did.
Oh my god.
Stay away from Josh Berry. He has really struggled on short tracks. He has really struggled. Dark Horse. Here's another driver you should have picked that does run well on short tracks in the past. Zane Smith. He was good at short tracks back in the day. Sleeper. How can you not count Eric Jones? Eric Jones has also done well at Iowa in the past. I would love to see him bring some success.
Okay, good pick.
And this is going to shock a lot of you. Michael McDowell is my long shot.
What? Excuse me, right here, right now. What?
Your excuse. I'll send Bucky a bill to you. It's not an answer, Taylor.
Anyway, so.
Michael McDowell worked for me last week. What do you think? What would happen if Lightning did strike twice?
I think Danny's got cuckoo crazy.
Oh, Carl Long said the 66 withdrew from the Cup race due to a lack of sponsorship.
Well, it's not an answer, Taylor.
Yeah. So Taylor, any final thoughts before we get the race down under started?
Well, I think we'll be in for an interesting weekend with the couple cars going to a new track, and so I think we'll be in for some entertainment.
All right. Any final thoughts from you guys as we get set for the race weekend at Iowa?
I don't know if I should say my line.
Go ahead. Oh, I know why. I know why. I'm going to go ahead and say this. I know why somebody picked Corey LaJoie as to stay away from.
Oh, why?
Corey LaJoie has the Iowa Hawkeye colors.
That's not why I picked him. That's not why I picked him. That is not why.
Well, I'm just telling you the sponsorship, if you know what I mean.
Well, that's not the reason why, but okay.
Oh, I also saw on race Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer's on there. So that's cool. All right. It's going to be a fun race weekend. Can't wait to see what happens here at what happens at Iowa. And like I said, we're going to continue to even though Race Hub is no longer going to happen anymore, we're still going to continue doing all the NASCAR news to make sure you're caught up on what's going on and making this almost like inside Winston Cup so far. So that being said, that's going to do it for this episode of Triple P. Want to say happy Father's Day to all of the dads out there. I did see we have a comment. I don't know why that got posted. Hey, the other blue hedgehog. So, yeah. With that said, I want to thank you guys a lot for joining me for this week's episode of Triple P. As we always say, we survived another episode of this great, amazing show. If you guys like this episode of Triple P, be sure to give it a like. If you haven't considered subscribing yet, I highly recommend you do so. In order to keep up with some wonderful content coming out in the near future, as well as future episodes of your favorite podcasts coming out throughout the rest of this week and onward to the next, we will see you Thursday for the World Endurance Podcast. Zachary Taylor and I are going to try to work together to get an IMSA podcast out tomorrow, or we'll be live tomorrow as planned and all that. So I want to thank you guys a lot for joining me. And on behalf of Sean Art and Zachary Taylor, I'm Daniel Voles, aka PCS Ray Blue Hedgehog 26, signing out. Thanks for watching yet another broadcast of PCS Ray TV, the best in racing since 2017. We'll see you guys next week for Triple P. Until then, good night, everybody, from the Blue Hedgehog Studios.
Cody Smart didn't join because he wasn't smart enough to.